Alive and Well is brought to you by Pine Rest Christian Mental Health Services.
This segment is sponsored by Pine Rest. With nearly 1 out of every 10 individuals in the U.S. experiencing an eating disorder sometime in their lifetime, it's likely you know one. You may not realize it, though, because of the common misconception that only underweight white girls have eating disorders. Pine Rest psychologist Rebecca Bussman is here to help us better understand eating disorders, who they affect, warning signs, and a new treatment program opening here in Grand Rapids. And it's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
That statistic, 1 in 10, that is a prevalent problem, isn't it?
Yes, it ends up being about 9% worldwide, which is approximately 29 million Americans that are struggling with some form of an eating disorder.
Yeah. And contrary to what we, I guess, broadly believe, eating disorders can set in on people of all shapes and sizes and weights and body types.
Absolutely. So the other statistic is that 6% are actually underweight. So of those 29 million, only 6% are actually presenting in that typical form that people would expect. So hopefully what that leads you to believe is that it could be anybody that, you know, is just walking down the street in your average body type that could still be struggling with an eating disorder.
Yeah. So I understand that there is disordered eating and eating disorders. What's the difference between those two?
Sure. So disordered eating is could be any typical dieting behaviors or things where you can still function normally in your everyday life. You're not experiencing medical complications or having any significant mental health distress from it. It sort of reaches into that eating disorder space when we start to see those more significant complications where it's interfering with functioning socially or emotionally, or there are those more significant medical issues.
I mentioned in the outset that sometimes we don't see this. Are there symptoms of someone having an eating disorder or that it's setting in?
Sure, and some of those things might actually look like disordered eating on the surface, so it's important to acknowledge those right away as well. It might be that person who is frequently dieting, counting calories, weighing themselves often, but you might also notice things in social settings. Maybe they avoid going out to events where food is involved, or you might see them, you know, doing frequent mirror checking and pinching their body in certain ways, and just engaging in something again that we might see as typical on some level, but to an excessive point that tips it over the scale into disordered.
So tell me about some of the services available at Pine Rest.
Absolutely. So we're really excited about a new program we have opening on October 21 for our adolescent population. So we know that 22% of child and adolescents within worldwide do experience some form of disordered eating. So we really want to make sure we're targeting that population. It is a partial hospitalization or day program for 12 through high school, and we're really excited about that piece starting up. We also have our psychiatric urgent care for 18 and up if there's any urgent needs, and we have eating disorder informed therapists at our outpatient level of care as well.
I imagine the key is to kind of connect with help early, so that that folks can have a successful outcome.
You got it. Yes, the sooner that you receive help and are able to target some of those behaviors, the quicker your turnaround or better your recovery outcome is.
All right. Well, for more information about different types of eating disorders and available treatments, visit pinerest.org/eating-disorders or call the number you see on your screen, 866-852-4001. That's a lot of information. We will put it on our website, 13onyourside.com. So good to have you here.
Thank you.